Now we're looking at monitoring and appraising staff. Supervising somebody, it requires that we give lots of feedback, lots more than maybe we initially imagine. Sometimes this feedback needs to happen on the spot, right there. When we've seen something that has been done well or has not been done so well, we need to give on the spot feedback so that people know that that we've noticed, for one thing, and that if you want to learn from your experience, it needs to happen there and then. Feedback needs to be given as soon as possible. When you are learning to cycle and you fall off and bang, you hit the floor and you think, oh, I must not do that again. The lesson is the consequences, the feedback is almost immediate. And similarly, we know if you want to try and train a dog, you need to say, well done, you did that right, or no, bad dog. You need to say this within like half a second of the event happening. Otherwise it doesn't actually connect as to what it was that I'm being corrected or praised for. So feedback needs to happen as soon as possible. It needs to be both a combination of both positive and negative. We need to be able to say what went well and what needs to improve. If we only tell the positive, then people are never quite sure, in which areas do I need to learn? Where do I need to grow? If we only give the negative, then people don't feel encouraged. It has to be a good mixture of the both, and also a combination both of facts and of feelings, actually. There needs to be a space where they also have a chance to respond. So it's not just that you give feedback and they go, "Won't you?" There needs to be some sense in which they take ownership of what you have said, and maybe they can respond to it. Maybe they say, "Oh, thank you," or "Oh, yeah, you're right, I need to think about that." There needs to be some. It's part of a conversation, and it may be that we need to even give like follow-up action points. Hey, that was really good. I want to see you do that again next week. I'm going to come and check and see if you're still on target, or something. I don't know. There needs to be some sort of sense in which this is part of an ongoing conversation. So, as well as these on the spot bits of feedback, when we see people doing the right thing or when we see them doing the wrong thing, it's great. On the spot is very necessary, but there also is a place for doing some sort of regular routine giving feedback. And it could be a weekly thing, it could be a monthly thing. It could be that this is focused on some targets that you've agreed with them. There's some sort of work that you're wanting to regularly check in on to see, how are they doing on that particular project. It could be that you're wanting to work with them to develop a plan for the coming week. Maybe it should be a bit of both, actually. A reflection on how the current is going and a plan of what is coming up. It's also good to discuss with them what are the challenges that they're currently facing. Is there some problem, some conflict that you might be able to help with? It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to jump in and give them a solution, but maybe you can at least be an ear for them to voice the challenges that they're facing. You need to be aware of what difficulties they face in their work. And it's also a time for you to discuss with them ways in which you could see them growing. That you can help them to see where their strengths and weaknesses are, and you can help them to become more aware of where they need to grow and to develop. So these are both the very sort of informal check-ins, let's call them, or on-the-spot feedback and so on. There's also a place for a very much more formal feedback and that, appraisal. And it could be that this is done quarterly. It could be that this is done on an annual basis. And such a process needs to have also a number of components to it. One is looking backwards, reflecting on how has it gone? Have you achieved what you set out to achieve? Have you done what we agreed you were going to try to do? There's also a forward-looking component that says, okay, let's talk about what are the coming priorities? What is coming up? What are the objectives for the future that you need to be ready to address? There needs to be a chance for you to give some sort of feedback as the line manager on saying the quality is good. The quality needs to be improved. Whatever it is, there needs to be some sort of, ongoing feedback on the quality of their work. But you can also talk about their development, as a, that you are wanting to see them grow. It's not that you can choose how you word it, but I would suggest rather than sort of choosing to word it as I can see you're lacking in this area, actually better would be to word it in terms of, I want to see you grow. I see potential in you. You have, the possibility of going further, or learning new things or whatever it is, but helping them to see that actually work can also be a process for them to grow and to develop. Of course, these sort of appraisals, they are a chance both for you to speak and for the other person to speak. And so there should not be long gaps in between these things. Hopefully, if you've got enough on-the-spot feedback going on and you're meeting with your people weekly maybe, or at least monthly, and then you've got these more formal appraisals going on either quarterly or annually, hopefully there is not pressure building up that's waiting to erupt, like in the pressure cooker that you can see the picture of here. There needs to be a process by which you are regularly letting that pressure out, both for yourself and for them, that they have a chance to speak. And so these appraisals, they provide a structure by which this kind of discussion can take place. The appraisals, they allow people to say what they're thinking, because sometimes we don't necessarily say things as they happen. Sometimes we have to reflect on it, and so appraisals give a chance for us to verbalize that internal message. Appraisals are also a way of helping staff to really recognize where they need to grow, where they are strong, but where they are also have weaknesses. But it does also give a chance to affirm them and to say, hey, you are doing really well in this area. It also actually shows the staff that the supervisor and the organization as a whole is actually caring about them and their growth. And that's important for people to know that somebody cares. And so it will help to build stronger and better working relationships. Obviously, you as the appraiser, I would suggest, 3 sort of tips as you go into this. I would recommend that you focus your conversations on the person's knowledge, their skills, and their behaviors. At the knowledge level, are they still current in their thinking? Are they up to date? Are they applying the knowledge that they have? In terms of skills, are they relevant? Are they being applied well to the particular problems and challenges that they face? And in terms of behavior, this is to do with their attitudes that are worked out in actions. Do you see the attitudes being worked out that you as the line manager want? And as you have these conversations, of course, it is actually also important that you write these things down, and that there is some sort of written record of these assessments, because sometimes that becomes quite important for later down the line.